Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel and to a Punched Out Thursday to die for with Kathy, Krista, myself, Dorothy, Rebecca, and Sonia. And we will all be using our punches and or dies. And I will be scrapping that picture of my great niece, Peyton, and using Bloom Street. And it's the project pad. So the stuff in there is one-sided, isn't double-sided. It's a little on the thinner side, so you will see me using the white paper to back it. And there is at least a scrap of Simple Stories. You'll be able to tell which one it is because it's double-sided. There might be a couple of pieces at Simple Stories, but they are double-sided. The ones with the white on the back are Bloom Street. That punch I just used is a Martha Stewart punch, and it makes kind of like a ribbon. It's not called ribbon, though. I don't remember what it's called. They don't put that stuff on there. But you can run ribbon through it, only I've only used paper instead. I cut it at a 1/2 inch wide, and then I just lace it through it. And I did a lighter pink on top of a darker pink. And you'll see me putting the glue just on one side there because I planned on sticking stuff down the front of it on top, yeah. That was my plan. However, you see that punch there with the 3 flowers? It was kind of sticking a little bit, so I sprayed it with some Punch Doctor. And I had intentions of doing a test piece of scrap paper, and you see me rubbing the paper down there. Something came out of it, and I'm sure it was from the Punch Doctor because it was kind of fluid, because it's a spray. And it stuck to it, and it left a brown spot there. So if y'all have Punch Doctor, don't forget to use it on a scrap one. Don't use it straight on your layout. Don't do like I did. But I will do a cluster down there, and that's why I'm not doing the other thing. I thought about putting my picture lower and just have the top edge up there by the ribbon and put all the way across and have something different that way. But since I had to cover up that spot and I wasn't sure the picture would do it the way I wanted it to, I just decided to make sure I had a cluster that would cover it up. So the very first part that I put on there is going to cover it up. And see that heart up there I'm messing with right now? I did not notice I punched it out of one piece of paper and then the other 4 out of another. So I will end up punching one more because the other are all darker pink and put the darker pink one on top of that lighter pink. And the bigger of the tiny flowers that I'm using are all going to be double layered, and then the smaller ones aren't. But they all are going to have centers, so they won't be naked. And I can see one of them is way off. I don't know how I managed to do that because I was trying to remember to use my little tweezers on those little tiny scissor centers so that wouldn't happen. But it's off a little bit. But probably wouldn't be my layout if it wasn't, because I usually have stuff that's off center. But I figure it adds to the homemade look. I got that scrap out, but I do have another scrap of pink, and I'm going to have to pull it out to finish up having enough hearts. I think I have to punch one out of a bigger one even. But that's okay. Scraps are good to have on hand. The leaf there, I am using the other side, and you can't tell in the video, at least I can't in my video, but the top paper up there is kind of a bluish green. However, the one for the leaves is a light green. Well, now I can tell it a little bit. But when I was looking at the video a second ago, I couldn't. There are 2 different colors. I am taking that pick and curling the petals on the leaves so that they're not laying completely flat. And hopefully, since I do have foam tape under several things, they won't end up flat in the album. They usually don't. Uh, I store my albums standing up, and so usually they still have quite a bit of dimension even after they've been in there a while. I pulled out I think it's called a pine branch. However, I use it for whatever I like to fill in with it. Sometimes a lot of times I use it as white or an off-white or cream. But I decided to use the darker of the bluish green paper. I'm not sure. Let's see, I think one looks more aqua and the other one looks more mint. So yeah, I use the more aqua one on it since my leaves are mint. And I am putting each one of the stars on foam tape and tucking the leaves behind them and the pine branch. I think it's a pine branch. I think it's what's called. It's either that or a fir branch, one or the other. And I'm just tucking it behind it. And let's see. Oh, and I'm bending my leaves in the middle so they kind of come to a point better. Give the illusion of a leaf that's kind of curved and coming to a point. That's why I do it. But yeah, you can see the point better, whereas it was laying down flat otherwise. And I am going to make a few more flowers, and I'm going to lay them on top of the hearts so the hearts aren't so plain. And I keep looking at it and thinking, well, it's diagonal now. So it's not the way it was when I first planned my layout in my head, since I had to fix a place to cover up that one spot. And so I am going to make a cluster up in the top left-hand side too, just to go with it, because, if I'm going to do diagonal, I want the whole thing. I am not going to put it all the way in the corner this time, though. I'm going to have it like it's hanging on the wall. So it will not be all the way up the top. It'll just be a little cluster. And, some of these flowers are harder to curl than others because they're tinier, but they still curl and you will see dimension on them, especially in the close-ups. And I'm just using liquid glue to put them together, and that is, of course, the art glitter glue, and that's my favorite. It dries pretty quick and it's thin, so it comes out the fine point needle metal end. And so those two together I like a lot. Well, three, it'd be three because thin, quick dry, and small point. So yeah, three reasons why I like it better. But they don't sell it in the winter because it will freeze on the delivery trucks. And if it freezes, well, we had glue in the warehouse where I worked before I retired. And if it freezes, it's a nasty looking mess. You would not even want to use it. We threw it out. And believe me, they probably paid an awful lot of money for what we threw out. I pulled out my little teeny tiny flower punch. One I got when I very first started scrapbooking. Yeah, I'm not sure where I got it. It's been so long. I'm thinking it was some little scrapbook store when we went on a trip. I was so tickled to get it, and it still works great. It's never had the punch doctor sprayed in it. So, yeah, it just takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Let's see, where am I at now? Oh, I am adding that little cluster up there on the top. And I'll start with the flower, and then I think, I really need to go ahead and put a heart in here. And I'm thinking, where should I put it? So it's going to be tucked under everything and tilted to the right. Well, it's kind of laying on its side. It's actually what it's doing. It's kind of laying on its side. And I'll keep looking at it and think it looks like it needs something else. So I will go back and add something in a little while. before I'm done with the end of the layout anyway. Uh, oh yeah, I had to add everything that I had in the other clusters. A bigger flower, a smaller flower, the little branches and the leaves, and yeah, then it hits me. I don't have the heart. And when I punch it out, I tried to punch two out so I could cover up that other one. But no, I couldn't. So yeah, I will have to find a bigger scrap. Yeah, well, I didn't want a bigger scrap. It's just that's how it happened. And I will punch it out. And yeah, see, I'm covering it up now so all of them match. If I had had half of them one way, I'd been happy. But to have one that was a different color, nah, I wanted them all the same. And down here at the bottom, I'm putting sugar and spice and everything nice. And that's when I think I need something up there at the top. So I put the word love up there at the top. And I think I'm about done. Oh, I'm going to go around and I punched out several of those little yellow flowers. Well, they were centers for the other flowers. And I punched out several. So I'm just kind of adding them here and there and sprinkle them around and just to have, well, instead of getting sequins out, that's what I decided to do. So yeah, those little tiny flowers are just going to be sprinkled around. And if I'd had a color of pink that I thought would go with these papers, I would have done splatters of pink, but I didn't have. So that's why I went with the little tiny yellow flowers. But if you look down there below, you will see links to all the other gals doing the Punched Out Thirsty to Die for today. And go check theirs out and see what they did with their dies and or punches. And I didn't use no dies today. Everything I used was punches. But if you leave a comment below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so much. But I hope you all have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. And find some time to scrap. But that's it. That's my layout. And there's my cute little great niece. Bye.